Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm doing a full face of makeup using only Essence products from the drugstore. I was kind of thinking of starting up a series here on my YouTube channel, reviewing a bunch of different drugstore brands and doing with each different brand doing a full face of makeup just using that particular brand. So let me know if you guys would be interested in seeing that, and if you are interested, also let me know in the comments which drugstore brand you would definitely like to see. So before we jump into this video, I did want to let you guys know that I am actually doing Vlogmas this year on my vlogging channel. The last few years I did my Vlogmas videos on this channel, and I decided this year to not do that. I'm going to be doing the 10 days of Vlogmas, so at least 10, or I'm aiming for at least 10 Vlogmas videos this year, are going to be on my vlog channel. So it's youtube.com/thethirdShift, which I will also link in the info bar. You can go and check it out. Anyway, you can click on the eye and it'll take you to my vlog channel. I've already uploaded a couple Vlogmas videos there, but there are definitely more coming. Go and subscribe and go and check out Vlogmas. So let's get into the full face of Essence. This is the look I'll be doing. I'm so excited about this. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell beside the subscribe button to make sure you get notified of all my uploads here on my channel. And let's get started. Alright everyone, so the first product that I picked up is this foundation, and this is the Camouflage Makeup and Concealer 2-in-1. I have the shade here, number 10 Ivory. So I put some of this on a palette and it's coming out pretty thick. And the only thing I have on is moisturizer. Pat this in with the brush first, and then I like to go over it with a sponge. Just gonna use my own brushes. This brush is by NYX. Foundation is pretty thick, but I mean, it is supposed to be a camouflage, like sort of a more full coverage foundation, I guess. Color match is actually not that bad. So I'm really curious to see how this will look in the end, because like I said, Essence is not a brand that I usually gravitate toward just because it's made more for, you know, like really a younger set, I guess. I'm just applying a little bit more because I feel like that first layer with the brush was kind of uneven, to be honest. This is pretty damn high coverage. Like, I don't even remember how much this stuff cost. I mean, it'll really depend wherever you live, but this was like definitely under 5 Swiss francs. I think this was like 4.50 or something like that. This is probably the cheapest or like least expensive drugstore brand in my country. Holy smokes, this is really good coverage. Yeah, it does feel a little bit heavy on. It's pretty crazy. This is like under $5. And this is really pigmented. This is kind of reminding me a lot of the Maybelline Full Cover foundation that I just recently reviewed here on my channel that I actually really liked. It's kind of reminding me a lot of that, actually. All right, so next up I'm gonna be doing concealer. It's the Full Coverage Concealer. This is in the shade 05 Ivory again. I'm gonna do this on my under eye. I'm just gonna do one eye first because I don't know how quickly this dries. Let's just do one first. Okay, that one is not really knocking my socks off. I don't know, I feel like my under eye circles are still showing through. It's kind of this weird texture. It's kind of like thick, but it's not that pigmented somehow. Let me just do a little bit more. Okay, this one I'm not crazy about. I feel like it's kind of a heavy concealer and it's supposed to be full coverage, but I honestly don't feel like the pigmentation is that great. This one needs to have maybe like a little bit more of a pink tone to it, like a sort of pinky salmon tone. I always feel like if a concealer kind of goes more in the pink tone, for me at least, for my skin tone, it does a better job of correcting because it kind of, the pinky salmon tone kind of counteracts the blueness. I'm going to set everything using this powder. This is the All About Matte Fixing Compact Powder, and this one is completely colorless. Like, it looks white in the pan. I'm hoping that it's completely colorless, like it's not supposed to be pigmented. Tap that on and kind of put it all over my face. Honestly, like, I'm not hating it right now. Like, it does look like the foundation looks a little bit heavy, but I'm not hating it. Like, what do you guys think so far? So next I want to do my eyes, but this is where I do have to cheat a little bit just because at the Essence counter where I was at, or like the little display, there was no eyeshadow base. So I'm going to cheat and just use an eyeshadow base that I have here lying around. This is the Lorac Behind the Scenes Eye Primer. So I know that this is like a high-end primer. I don't really have a drugstore eyeshadow primer. I don't know if Essence just doesn't make one or if that place just didn't stock them, but I looked and I looked and there weren't any. So I picked up this eyeshadow palette, but I did decide to go for one of these preset palettes because this is probably what most people would buy, and this is the All About Nudes eyeshadow palette. This contains 8 shades, all very neutral. This eyeshadow palette is the thing that I'm most hesitant about. I don't know, it just doesn't look that great from a first, from a first look, but let's see, maybe I'll be totally surprised. So I'm going to start out with this shade right here on a big fluffy brush. Already quite a bit of falling out onto the other shadows, working that into the crease area. I mean, this is a very, very light color, so pigmentation right now is not really all that crazy, but it is a very light color. Essence kind of caters to a very young crowd, like a very young consumer. Like usually if I go there, I see like 13, 14-year-old girls buying the stuff. I mean, I don't know if you want super pigmented eyeshadows. Maybe that's kind of the whole point, is to have it look very muted. Then I'm gonna go in with the next color over. It's a little bit deeper. It's this color here. That's actually like not bad. Like what? Okay, I thought this palette would be a lot less pigmented. I mean, that's not bad, guys. Like seriously, this is like a less than Swiss francs eyeshadow palette. I'm not mad at it. Close up, it looks maybe a little bit uneven. There is a sort of a shimmery shade right here. I mean, I am using like high-end brushes. I don't know if that is also helping. Probably if you have like really bad brushes, probably will have different results. So I'm applying this on the inner part of the lid. Oh, this has kind of like I didn't see that. It kind of has a pinky shimmer. When I looked at this palette, I thought this was for sure going to be the worst product ever. Now that I'm actually using it, it's not the worst eyeshadow palette I've ever used. It's not like knocking my socks off, but it's definitely not as bad as I thought it would be. The shimmer is kind of applying a little bit unevenly, what I do notice. It's kind of like grabbing onto some areas where it looks really shimmery, and then other areas it's kind of like not really as shimmery. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this and put that into the crease. They're not really like grabbing onto the skin that well. Like they don't I don't know, they feel like a little bit dry kind of, you know what I mean? This one here, it's very shimmery, like super reflective. The shimmer is kind of transferring, but there isn't like a whole lot of pigmentation to that shadow. This would maybe be like a nice sort of all over lid color as well. Like if you use kind of like a sticky base. There is some fallout. Try and flick that away a bit. So for the under eye, I'm going to use some of this shade right here, just so that it kind of balances the shadow here on the top. I mean, they are kind of like dusty, like they're a little bit dusty and a little bit sort of drier shadows. Thinking about how inexpensive this is, like I think it's okay. Honestly, I've tried more expensive shadows from like high-end brands that have been worse than these, which is kind of embarrassing. So I wanted to do a winged liner because I saw that they have this product here, and this is called the Liquid Ink Eyeliner. This is supposed to be waterproof, so they do have this in a non-waterproof edition. It's one of those really fine line eyeliners. It kind of reminds me of the NYX liquid liner, which is actually my favorite liquid eyeliner. It has a brush tip front, so it's not a felt tip or any of those weird hard tips, which I absolutely hate. It's not bad. I think I still prefer the NYX one. I feel like the brush is a little bit crisper. Okay, so I have applied the eyeliner, and I have to say, this is the weirdest feeling eyeliner I think I've ever used. I've never used an eyeliner that feels this uncomfortable. I don't know if it's just the waterproof version. Like I said, they did have this exact eyeliner in a non-waterproof version. It feels like glue all over my lids. Like it's dried now. It dries down to a very matte finish, like it's very nice and black, but it feels so uncomfortable. It feels like it's actually tugging at the skin. Like I just put eyelash glue all over my eyelid. So this is definitely not one that I would probably ever use again, just because right now I'm like itching already to get it off. Maybe next time I will pick up the non-waterproof version. Like I don't know if it's just because of the waterproofness, like they added a lot of sort of adhesive or something to it to really make it waterproof. I got this mascara. This is the Volume Stylist 18-hour Lash Extension mascara. This has lengthening fibers in it. Let's see how this works out. Okay, I have like a little bit of clumpiness here in the middle. I like the brush so far because the brush is not so thick. I hate mascaras with like giant fat brushes. I find them really hard to use. This mascara is drying really fast. Like if you go over it in one area, the other side's already kind of dried, so you have to kind of work quickly. I think it looks very dramatic, like especially for someone who doesn't have a lot of lashes. Like it definitely made it look like I have more lashes, but I think it also looks maybe a little bit spidery, clumpy. I'm not sure how I really feel about this mascara yet. I think I will have to try it again. I'm going to move on to eyebrows, and I actually have two eyebrow products that I bought, and one is the eyebrow gel here, and this is in the shade 01 Brown. And this is the Make Me Brow eyebrow gel mascara, and this reminds me of the Benefit Gimme Brow. It's kind of one of those brush on things. I think this has like tiny fibers in it as well, just like the Gimme Brow, and you can brush that through. I'm gonna first start off with the brow gel. I'm gonna pick a little bit of this up on my spatula and see how this compares to the Anastasia Dip Brow. I'm like trying to get it on my brush, somehow it's not spreading evenly. It's just like clumping. What the hell? It's just like clumping up on my brush. This is the weirdest. What? Okay, I can already tell that I don't like this brow gel because it's not really spreading. It's kind of just moving the product around. I hate products that don't adhere properly and then they just kind of move around. Like with the Anastasia Dip Brow, which is obviously way more expensive, but it really kind of stays where you put it, and it also works as like a brow gel. Also, there weren't a whole lot of colors obviously available from Essence. It's not, again, it's not awful. Definitely I've tried worse brow products. It's not going to be replacing the Anastasia brow gel for me. This one, okay, no, this is not my favorite product. Really thick and sticky, and it's hard to spread it. Like usually here in the front, I like to make these little individual hairs, but it's like, that's not really working because it's so thick. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can maybe fix it a little bit using the Make Me Brow, even it out or something with this. I mean, it's gonna be hard to get a good like feeling of this product now because I'm layering it on top of something else. Okay, I'm having a bad brow day. This is just so smeary. Okay, really not a fan of either of those brow products. Like this is probably the worst my brows have looked in a long time. This is the Matte Touch Blush, and I actually think it's really cute. There are these little stars imprinted on the top, and it's a matte blush, as the name says. And this is in the shade number 20, Berry Me Up. I'm going to pick some of this up with a brush, again, using a very high-end brush. So, you know, the brush makes a difference in application as well. I actually think that's not bad. I mean, it's very matte. Oh my God, I keep looking at my brows. Like they're so janked up. Like brows are totally ruining this whole vibe is just ruined by these terrible brows. So for highlighter, I am cheating a little bit because they had single eyeshadows there. Thought this would work so great as a highlighter, and this is from the My Must Haves eyeshadow. This is the shade number 10, Apricotta. Oh my God, this is so cute. Like, look at this tiny baby little eyeshadow. Like, that is really pretty. Can you guys see that? It's not picking up so great, I think, on the camera, but it looks really, really nice. Like a champagne-y pink tone to it, so very flattering. And I'm going to do a little bit as a highlighter underneath my brow there. Like, look how shimmery that is. And my Cupid's bow. So for the lips, I thought it would be fun to do a red lipstick, and I'm going to be using the Soft Contouring Lip Pencil, and this is in the shade Melt Your Heart. And then I'm going to use this lipstick on top, and this is from their matte range, and this is shade 06. I like the color a lot. It's like this kind of deep brick red. It actually feels nice too. It feels definitely like a matte lipstick. It's not too slippery, which I often don't like about really inexpensive drugstore stuff, is that it's super slippery. It reminds me of MAC Viva Glam 1. So I just basically finished up the look by adding some false lashes. I feel like with a look like this, I would normally wear false lashes anyway. Okay, let's get into it in detail. So first of all, I have to say that I'm very surprised at these results. I thought this would end up looking so much worse than it does. That's my own prejudice, and I realize now that I need to take away that prejudice. I feel like drugstore makeup, and I'll say this again, has come such a long way, and some of the products are really just good quality now. I have to stop thinking that just because something is really inexpensive and at a very low price point that it's going to suck, because honestly, going into this video, I really thought this would turn out so awful. And now that the look is done, I'm like, what the hell? This is like Essence, like the cheapest makeup on the market here in Switzerland, and it doesn't even look that bad. Like, it actually looks fairly good. I really like this lip color. I like the texture of this lipstick. It's matte without being overly drying. It's comfortable to wear. The eyeshadow, I have to say, it's not my absolute favorite. Kind of a dry, chalky formula, but the pigmentation was surprisingly okay. Like, it's not obviously the most pigmented eyeshadow that I have, but I definitely thought that this was going to completely suck just because of the packaging. But I'm actually really surprised that I was able to get a pretty decent like color payoff. The mascara, I'm still kind of on the fence about. I think I'll have to try it again to see if I really do like it. The foundation, again, something I was super surprised with. It's kind of a thicker formula because it's supposed to be a camouflage, like more full coverage foundation. It really is good coverage. It's not, I think the Maybelline full coverage is a little bit better, just from the application and how it looks. I'm surprised, you guys, like seriously? It has already kind of settled into fine lines. You know, like I said, Essence is more for a younger demographic, so I think if you already have first signs of aging, then this might not be the brand that you go to, especially with face and foundation products. The concealer is okay, but it didn't really cover up the blueness, so I probably wouldn't like reach for this again. So of all the stuff that I tried, the eyebrow products were the ones that I like the least. I think they look really smudgy and imprecise, and the brow gel was super hard to work with. It's kind of chunky, clumpy. I mean, I tried to save it with that second eyebrow product, but I don't really think it worked that great either. What I'm also noticing is the under eye area where I applied the concealer and like where I powdered it, it looks very kind of dry and crepey. It's kind of accentuating fine lines there. So I'm not sure if it was a combination of the concealer or if it was this powder. So overall, I have to say, I am very surprised. It probably isn't going to be, admittedly, my go-to brand at the drugstore, but I mean, the lip product, I really like it. So I will definitely wear the lipstick, and I will try the mascara again. So what do you guys think of this look? Let me know what other brands you want to see me test from the drugstore and do like a full face of that particular brand. Remember to check out my previous video if you missed it, and I will see you guys very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.